Before Stemedix, I didn't feel like I had much of a future. I felt my life was dim, and it would always be very dim. I was diagnosed with MS. I had a job that I loved. I was on the road every week. I flew every week to a different location. I had 3 projects going at a time, and life was great. I was making great money. I loved what I was doing, and then came MS. I have progressive remissive MS. So there was good times and there were bad times. You feel very depressed and when you can't do things that you normally did. I used to play a lot of racquetball. I was very physically active and I couldn't do that anymore.
No, she couldn't get out of bed. She couldn't do her day-to-day housework. You know, she couldn't walk. I'd push her in a wheelchair, lug the wheelchair around, and I felt like I was already 80 years old. You know, I was too young for that. It just, you know, it was hard.
I first met Diana shortly after I began my work at Holy Cross. And as time went on, I come to know more about her, and she revealed to me that she was suffering from multiple sclerosis, MS. And as time went on, it became worse, and it degraded severely her ability to not only serve in the church, but also to just do household duties. And I saw her and I saw Bobby just really suffer as a result of that disease over time.
Mentally and physically, I had to resign from the church council when I got sick. I got really sick. And it was terribly depressing prior to my stem cells.
As time went on throughout the year, her disease progressed and her condition worsened. And eventually, a few months into her service, she had to step away. That was a very big loss for our council. She had bold and strong leadership. Her faith would not be ruled by fear, and I really appreciated that about her. When she stepped away, a part of our church became less because of it.
So when my daughter told me about Stemedix, I was actually very, very excited.
I immediately said to look into it. There was no discussion. You know, I saw the video and I said, well, there's nothing to talk about really, just let's try it. Let's raise the money and do it. And she raised the money to help at the church and some relatives and neighbors and a little bit here, a little bit there. We got the money together and we went down there and did it.
When she told me, she changed in her demeanor. While her body was still weak, her heart was revived and her hopes were higher.
My experience with Stemedix was wonderful. They explained everything thoroughly.
They put us up in a hotel for 3 days. They came and picked us up for the appointments, which were only a few hours a day. We went there for an orientation with the first day.
We talked about the amounts of stem cells that we were going to get, and I knew it was something that I had to do or I was going to be wheelchair bound for the rest of my life, and that wasn't going to work for me.
Second day she had the procedure, which only took a few hours. And the third day they checked on her and said go home, and that was it.
We stayed in a hotel room there rather than a hospital, which a lot of us don't like hospitals. So it was actually a very comfortable feeling. And for me, the benefits, reaping of the benefits was very quick. I was surprised.
Everything they said it was going to happen, happened, and when they said it was going to happen, and that was the beginning of November. And we went on a cruise at the end at Thanksgiving.
I was no longer in the wheelchair, and I was actually able to go on a cruise to Panama, which I had planned on renting a scooter but it wasn't necessary. I could walk, and I could do all the things that shore excursions that I wanted to.
She was out of the wheelchair, and she just got better and better since. It only took about 8 weeks, and it was amazing. I was hoping it would take about 3 days, but it took about 8 weeks, and she was up out of the wheelchair, moving around. Her mind's getting back to where it was, slow but sure. Everything seems to be working out great.
I can't remember exactly the week, but she came in one week and she was in a wheelchair, and she could barely talk. She could barely do anything, and it broke my heart as a friend and her pastor. A few weeks later, she walked in, and she literally walked into the sanctuary. And the first thing I saw was her walking in, and my spirit and my heart leaped when I saw that. So she came walking to me. I almost ran to her and just embraced her, and it was just such a wonderful feeling to see that, and see her and Bobby together, and see that revived life that was once near death but has been resurrected in a lot of ways.
It made a huge difference in my life, and it amazed people that I know were just utterly amazed at the difference that they saw in me.
She is working again in her original position as publicity with renewed vigor, and I think a new outlook and appreciation of life, and that is seeping into the cracks of the church. We're seeing her leadership and the leadership of others. Her presence there makes a difference in the church, and I, as her pastor, am grateful not only to Dana but also to this miracle.
Well, one of my wows was I hadn't worn high heels in 12 years. In business, I always was wearing heels, and then I had to, switch to flat shoes, but I can now wear high heels, and that may not mean a lot to people, but to me, that was just awesome. It made me know that I'm getting better and not worse.
Stemedix, it took a lot off my shoulders, her getting better, That day-to-day housework, I don't know what to say. It's just been great.
Once I had my stem cells, I started feeling like my old self again, which was great. It made me very happy.
Yeah, we can get out and go places. Her walking into church, walking to the car, not having to help her. She gets out of bed in the morning. That's a big thing, really. You think about it.
My bucket list is going to be completed. Had I not had Stemedix do my stem cells, I never would have made my bucket list.